Students, good afternoon. Am I audible to everyone?
Good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon. I'm audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Very few of students has joined. Call your peers to join the lecture. I can wait for 2-3 minutes. Call your peers to join the lecture.
Okay, sir.
Okay, students, I guess you have called your peers. Now we will start the lecture of today. In continuation to the ground wave propagations, we will pursue. There's an effects of the curvature of Earth. So space wave field strength is affected by curvature of Earth. Last time I have told you that curvature of Earth also plays very important role, because if there is a line of sight is not there, so there may be a chances to get the signal strength as per requirement. See in this figure. Check the cursor where it is moving. This is the point. So line of sight is this. So this would be the shadow zone, or wave can be reflected in this way. So field strength automatically will get reduced if it will not reach directly to the receiving antenna. In this case, let us say there is a receiving antenna. There is a receiving antenna. It is not reaching directly to it. So it may cause some distortion. The curvature of the Earth creates shadow zones. Shadow zone I have shown you in the picture. In this figure, you can find the lines which are drawn like this. From here, transmitting antenna, you will draw a straight line which will work as a tangent to the Earth. This is a point where it acting as a tangent. So after that, this region is said to be shadow zone. Another name of the shadow zone is diffraction zones. So its name itself indicates that this is the zone where no signal reaches, or signal does not reach to this zone So that zone is said to be shadow zone or diffraction zone. And it also reduces the possible distance of communication. Here in the figure, you can visualize that this is a line of sight and this is then a reflection. And this portion is said to be shadow zone. So in the last lecture, we have also discussed that Earth's surface roughness also plays a vital role in the ground wave propagation. So first point is basically Earth is considered to be imperfect and rough. We cannot say that Earth is smooth everywhere. There is in a hilly zones, there is in a desert zones, and plain, plateaus, sea. So we cannot say that it is everywhere. It is in a perfect. That's why imperfect word is used, and rough because we cannot say that whole the Earth is smooth. If we'll assume that Earth is in a perfect, then reflection coefficient is assumed to be 1. But actually, this is the ideal condition. Actually, it is not feasible. So it is different from this scenario. If there is any phase change for the perfect Earth, if we'll say that Earth is perfect, there is any phase change in phase, that would be 180 degree. That is again ideal condition. We are saying that practically it is not feasible. And amplitude of ground reflected ray, which is in a ground reflected ray, you can see this is in a ground reflected ray shown with the arrow in the purple color, ground reflected ray. So this thing you can see it from the figure also. This is the direct ray. Direct ray is shown in the red color. This is the direct ray. Purple is in a ground reflected ray. So amplitude or field strength will automatically more in the direct ray in comparison to the reflected, because some portion has been reflected or absorbed by the Earth's surface. So if there is any rough surface, so signal will absorb more. So we can say that a receiver end signal strength is not appropriate. This has happened because of the roughness of the Earth's surface. I told you that there is in a hilly area, skyscrapers. Skyscrapers, last time I've used the word because there is any huge buildings in metropolitan cities, like 60 stories, multi-storied buildings, 60 stories, 70 stories. There is any many buildings, and these are known as skyscrapers, buildings and other obstacles. So hills also, see, again coming back to the figure. If this is the portion, this is showing the shadow effect. So hills are there, mountains are there. That can also create the shadow effect in the similar way. So if there is a shadow effect, it means possible transmission or actual signal strength will get reduced while it has been received at the receiver end. Height above the Earth. Next point is height above the Earth. So we know that there is any various layers. We have discussed in the previous lectures also as we move up. So layers are being changed. Ionosphere is in a highest layer, stratosphere. So different layers with the different heights we have discussed in the previous lectures. So field strength also varies as the height above the Earth. So if we want to know the field strength, so it can be given as there is a maximum value, there is a minimum value, and there is a no value. No value is given by null. For example, in this region, because of shadow, there is a null in shadow region. Directly signal will pass through or it will reflect. In this region, there is a value, field strength is null. Again, maxima, minima, we are saying that it is dependent upon the height of antenna, polarization of the wave, and ground characteristics. So if we'll say actual Earth, field strength, field strength shown with the blue color, this is for the actual Earth. But actually, so it is giving the maximum value. There is a minimum value. Perfectly reflecting Earth, but it is not possible because there is a roughness, there is some hills, there is some obstacles due to which, so this would be the field strength shown with the pink color. Transition between ground wave and space wave. Discussed in the previous lecture, what are the ground waves, what are the space waves. So there is a transition, ground wave to space wave. So whenever antenna is placed near to the Earth, at that time, waves are said to be ground wave. If height of the antenna is very huge, then at that time, it is said to be space wave. So from here, we can conclude that antenna height also plays a vital role on the field strength. So it directly affects the field strength. Though it depends upon the frequency polarization, but antenna height also affect the field strength. Atmospheric effects in space wave propagation. Atmosphere, we know that it is composed of water vapors, gas molecules. So its density, because there is a gas molecules or water vapors, its density obviously will be more in comparison to the free space. So there is a gas molecules as well as water vapors. So parameters which will accounted for this standard atmosphere will be pressure, temperature, humidity. So it again decrease linearly with altitude. As altitude is increased, pressure will get reduced, temperature and humidity, these are directly related to altitude. Refractive index. Refractive index also depends upon the height, and which leads to the following four phenomena: reflection, refraction, fading, and scattering. I repeat, reflection, diffractions, fading, and scattering. From here, reflection has been shown. Emitted from this point, strike at this, and it will reflect it. Again, further, strike over here, it will get reflected. Diffraction. If signal is met to this corner, if it will not met to this corner, it will go in a straight line in this way. See the cursor position. It will go straight line in this way. But it touched to the corner of this, so it will get diffracted. And scattering, there is a lamp post, signal is struck, it will automatically get scattered towards this direction. So phenomena reflection. It occurs when there is a smooth surface. Smooth surface means surface of Earth. This surface should be smooth. So you can see that it will occur. Then there is again smooth surface. There is a signal will go either in phase or out of phase or partially out of phase. The received wave may get completely cut off. If received wave is not exactly as per the requirement, then this is also said to be fading. Signal fading means strength of the signal is reduced. If more fading is there, so more signal strength is get reduced. So it has to be taken, there should be due care that there should be good reflector in the path so that it should reflected in a proper way. Fading should be minimized. Diffraction occurs at the edge of imprintable body. So from the figure again, you can visualize that this has occurred at the edge. Obstacle may be in the way, skyscrapers like huge buildings, hills, mountains. So in that case, process adopted by the waves to reach to the destination means the receiver side is diffraction. Refraction. Varying refractive index, because free space has different refractive index. Inside the water, there is a different refractive index. So wave does not travel in a straight path from transmit to receiver. It follows a bend path, that is, follows the curvature of Earth. In the last lecture, I told you that wave prefer to move as in the same curvature of Earth. Hence, radius of that seems to be larger than actual for the beam, because wave is traveling across the curvature. It is, so we can feel that its radius is comparatively larger. Limitations of space waves. As a form of electromagnetic radiations like light wave, radio waves are affected by the phenomena of reflection, refraction, diffraction, absorption, polarization, and scattering. Again, these are the phenomena. Reflection, refraction, diffraction, absorption, polarization, and scattering. So limitations related to the space wave are limited to curvature of Earth. We found that it is traveling along the curvature of Earth. So line of sight means line of sight. It should be straight. Actually, it is not feasible. Effect of curvature of Earth. One side is transmitter, another side is a receiving antenna. So what happens? Wave have to be moved along the curvature of Earth, because wave have to travel the larger path. See how. We will again check the previous diagram. So this is the curvature of Earth. Let us say wave have to travel from here to here. This is the straight path. Here is an antenna. This is the straight path. One is in a path like along the curvature. Try to understand properly by viewing the cursor moving on your screen. At this position where the cursor is there, I'm assuming that there is a receiver antenna. Red line means direct wave is reaching to this. Actually, we are saying that signal has to be moved along the curvature. So this path length will actually get increased. So path length will definitely get increased in case if signal is not reaching as per line of sight. Limitations we have covered. Field strength. So curvature of Earth creates, also curvature of Earth creates shadow zones. I told you that. Imperfection of Earth. So we always consider that Earth is imperfect. If it is perfect, then for the field strength, I've shown you the waveform. This should be the, but this is for the perfect, but here it is not perfect. Waveform shown in the pink color. So one thing you can understand that Earth is imperfect. When a wave is reflected from the perfect Earth, its phase changes 180 degree. Actually, it is practically, it is not visible. But if it is reflecting, we have to assume its phase changes exactly coming back to the 180 degree phase shift means if I'm sending from the transmitter to receiver, it will come back. But actually Earth makes the phase change different from 180 degree. So amplitude of the ground reflected wave is smaller than the direct wave. I have already explained it to you. If wave is reflected, so signal strength will get reduced. So in the nutshell, we can conclude that because of imperfection and the roughness, signal strength may get reduced. From here, you can see that height of transmitting antenna, height of receiving antenna, there is a difference of receiving antenna is of more height in comparison to transmitting antenna. There is a direct path, and this is the reflected path. The Earth should have a spherical in nature. Just for the sake of understanding, it is shown like this. Small portion of the Earth has been considered. So in this way, because if it is reflected, it will cover the path from HT to this, HT to Earth, then Earth to HR. HT to Earth, then Earth to HR. Apart from this, this is HT to HR. So here resultant will be of two signals in case if it is reflected. So if we'll say about the line of sight, so both the sender or receiver means transmitter and receiver should be, here you can see that there is in a line of sight, should be able to visualize each other. So if we really want the line of sight type of communication, we should have to increase the height of transmitting antenna as well as receiving antenna. For television broadcasting, its frequency range is 80 to 200 megahertz, which is not being refracted by the ionosphere of the Earth. So here, curvature is not playing any role, as this communication is through geostationary satellites. So geostationary satellites are the satellites which revolve around the Earth along its curvature. So From here, again, one thing we can conclude that if we really want the line of sight transmission, then antenna height of transmitter as well as receiver should be high. Shadowing effect of hills and buildings. Mountains, it also has its shadow effect. Buildings, huge buildings like skyscrapers, they have effects. Even though in the dense forest, trees also give some obstacle in the path of wave propagation. As we know that if there is an obstacle, waves can give the phenomena like reflection, diffraction, absorption. Due to this loss, your signal strength of the wave will get reduced. So we have to make these waves wood. If there is any wood is there opaque to the waves. So signal strength will automatically get reduced in case if there is any shadowing effect. And shadowing effect may occur because of huge buildings, mountains, dense forest. Shadowing effect and its equivalent. Transmitted and receiver. Direct, diffraction, reflection. If there is a direct signal has been transmitted, direct signal has been transmitted and directly it has received at the receiver end, signal strength will be good. In case of diffraction, it will get reduced, but in case of reflection, because it has to cover the use path, will automatically get reduced. So if we want that knife edge, see, to estimate real impact, the analysis is normally carried by replacing the actual obstruction by equivalent knife edge. So obstruction has to be replaced by equivalent knife edge. In the figure, this is the obstruction. We have kept here knife edge. Instead of diffraction or reflection, signal will again reach directly to the receiver. But there may be some chance local shadowing zone or some shadowing effect from the receiver but come, but not as much as in comparison to R2 and R2 dash. Students, all of you are getting?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Intents are understood to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So moving further, superfraction. In cold, rough weathers, low temperatures. So means under not normal conditions. When day is warm, land and air both become warm. After sunset, if sky is clear, land radiates its heat and its temperature falls rapidly. Under not normal conditions means when there is a bitter cold, temperature is very less, or when there is an extreme hot means temperature is very high. So Earth's lower layer of the atmosphere cool down, but upper layer remains unchanged. Earth has layers. Today we will also understand. Earlier in the previous lecture, I have also told you, today we will do in the detail in the upcoming slides. So lower layer, there would be change. It will cool down. But there is no effect on the upper layer. It results in temperature inversion. Means earlier it was hot. So inner layer will try to make it cool down. Or if it was cool, inner layer will try to make it towards the moderate temperature. So temperature inversion. So this inversion plays role in super refraction. So this effect can be seen in the deserts. So again, I repeat, super refraction occurs in the case of there is a temperature inversion. Nutshell of this story. Temperature inversion. Absorption by atmospheric phenomena. Very high frequency range. During the rainy day, wave, you have also noticed that during the rainy time, your mobile is not catching the proper signals. So partially due to absorption, partially because of scattering. So there is a drop concentration, means loss of because of scattering, and losses due to scattering. And this has been experimentally found that whenever there is a serious attenuation, if 3 centimeters for heavy rainfall, cloud should not be bursted, but if rainfall should be 3 centimeters, fog should be there. In the area where snowfall is there, losses will be high in comparison to the normal areas. If there is any hailstorm, then there would be a losses. So absorption energy take place at certain wavelengths. So water and gases with peak noted at its peak is at 1.33 centimeter, 1.7 millimeter and 1 millimeter. So this is related to water vapor and gases with peak noted. So again, this has been found by some methods. So what I want to convey that during the rainy period, your signal strength may also get reduced because of absorption. Scattering phenomena. Very high frequency and ultra high frequency range. Scattering propagation is there. You have learned about the troposphere and ionosphere. If there is any turbulence, means some disturbance is there. So temperature may change because of some local turbulence or local variations. And waves will get scattered in this turbulent area or turbulent region. So there is some changes will occur. Irregularities are there because waves are being not properly incident or reflected. So scattering is there. So to get this good signal strength while it is from transmitted and signal has to be received at the receiving end. So antenna's performance parameter, which plays very vital role in it, that is gain. Gain should be high to minimize the scattering effect. So if scattering is there, so we know that these beams which are scattered in the space may get overlapped with it. Overlapping region is there. So to reduce this effect, scattering angle should be minimum. Its process is shown in the figure. So we cannot predict the scattering phenomena. It is always random in nature. As we know that random signals we cannot predict, so its phenomena we cannot predict. There may be continuously fluctuation in amplitude and phase, or even up to some wider range. So its utility is in the following regions. You will see that. So this is the Earth. Scattering area. So you can see that this is the overlapping. Transmitting, receiving. There is a scattering angle. You will minimize this scattering angle. There will be less chances or less distortion will be there. So scattering area or common volume. So this happened because of overlapping. Fading. Fading is related to reduction of the signal strength. Reduction of the signal strength. And it may happen due to variation in refractive index. You have studied in your signal and system, there is a Rayleigh distribution, Gaussian distribution. Have you studied? Students, my voice is audible. Hello? Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have studied this Rayleigh distribution and Gaussian distribution in signal system also?
Yes.
So this is basically Gaussian. We have some specific criteria because if we'll add all the things, you will get it is also known as white noise. And we also say that there is a frequency spectrum of all the colors, which are all the rays which are being together. But in Rayleigh distribution, it is applied over the random signals. Do you remember it? So that's why fading effect, because we cannot predict its nature. So in this way, fading, if we in the summer signals stronger may be 10 decibel, and in the winter it should be 5 decibel. Fading sometimes may also suddenly destruct the signal. So this is a power in decibels, time in seconds. So you can see that it's though signal is random in nature. Random signal is a signal which is stochastically analyzed. So we cannot predict, but we can say that somehow it will come to over here. So prediction, exact prediction of this fading cannot be feasible. Structure of ionosphere. This is the area, region, approximate 30 to 250 miles from the Earth. Several layers, there's ions are there. Last time I told you that ions are there in the ionosphere. That's why it is said to be ionosphere. So ions are formed because of the process of ionization. So ionization occurs when high energy ultraviolet light waves from sun enter the ionospheric region of the atmosphere. High energy UV rays of the sun. When ionization occurs, because heating effect is in the ionosphere, heating effect only occurs when there is an ultraviolet rays of the sun strikes to the ionosphere and it starts. Ionization process gets start. Free electrons moves on, and this is also said to be electrically neutral since it contains a both proton and its nucleus and negative orbiting electron. When there is any negative electron is free, so atom becomes positive charge. We know that if negative charge is negative, like electron, if there is only one electron, it is made free by the metal or any substance, it will get positively charged or it will become positive ion. So in this way, electrical neutrality is being settled, or upsetting the process of electric neutrality is said to be ionization. Positive ion is being released, it will get electrically negative charged. Negative is released, it will become positively charged. If there is a free negative electron, subsequently it will absorb part of UV energy, which is made freed from the atom. So this process will continue, and ionization will keep on till then the ultraviolet rays are coming out from the sun to ionosphere. And in the morning it started, and as we move towards the afternoon, so we can say that bombardment of the UV waves of different frequencies. So several ionized layers are formed at different altitudes. So several ionized layers will be built at different altitudes. Lower frequency ultraviolet wave penetrate the atmosphere the least, therefore they produce ionized. So if frequency is less ionized layer or will be there, it is related to the higher altitudes. Higher frequency penetrate deeper and produce layer at the lower altitude. One thing you have to remember, higher frequency penetrate deeper and produce layers at the lower altitude. And lower frequency will not penetrate deeper and produce layer at the higher altitudes. So we'll see that how many layers are there. D layer, D layer, E layer, F1 layer, F2 layer. D layer is 50 to 90 kilometer because these layers are produced because of UV waves which are being spread out on the ionization processes there in the ionosphere, and again depending upon the frequency, different altitudes will get produced in it. So these layers are said to be D layer, 50 to 90 kilometer, E layer 90 to 140 kilometer, F1 layer 140 to 250 kilometer, F2 layer 250 to 400 kilometer. So further F2 250 to 400 kilometer. So this troposphere, stratosphere, and ionosphere. That's why ionosphere has been shown, because D layer is started from 50 kilometers. F2 layer is up to 400 kilometers. So ionosphere can be said as 50 to 400 kilometers. D layer, again, its distance has been predicted. Nearest layer to the Earth, E layer, then F1 and F2. F2 is the farthest layer. Some book says 400, some says 350. You have to consider 400. So again, whatever the diagram I have shown, that is shown in this. Unique ionosphere, this is the maximum value of 400 kilometers. Ionosphere, aurora, mesosphere, ozone layer. Ozone layer, that is stratosphere and ionosphere. In between, that is in the stratosphere, but just touching to mesosphere. Electron density has been shown in D layer, E layer, F1 layer, F2 layer. It's according to their altitude. F2 is at the highest position. F2 at the highest position. After that F1, then there is a E layer, then there is a D layer. Graph also shown in this way. Initially, that remains same, but F2 you will find that at altitude is higher than altitude of F1. Structure of ionosphere. So we know that ionization process has been started in the ozone layer. So ions get recombining or releasing some charges. So there would be density of the ionized layer based on these charges. So ionized layer is the elevation angle of the sun. Again, dependent upon, in the morning, this process will less. In the afternoon, this process will be more. That depends upon the UV rays of the sun are striking to the ozone layer at what angle? So elevation angle of the sun. I repeat, elevation angle of the sun is also important, which keep on changes as Earth is moving. For this reason, height and thickness of the ionized layer vary. So we can say that height and thickness of ionized layer may vary depending upon the seasons of the year. So again, recalling the process of ionization, it is related to the light wave knocking electrons free from their atoms. Then it will get free from their reverse process is also called recombination. Recombination is when electrons and protons will get collide with each other. So when they will collide with each other, the neutral atom state will get produced. So again, this is depending upon the time of the day, hours of early morning, late afternoon, because everything is dependent upon these UV rays of the sunlight. So you can understand the temperature difference of the morning, afternoon, evening. That's why late afternoon. During this period, ionized layers reach their greatest density and exert maximum influence on radio waves. During the late afternoon and early evening hours, over the rate of recombination exceeds the rate of ionization. So it depends upon the, again, timing of the day as sunlight UV rays intensity keep on changing because of angle of elevation is being elevated on ionosphere. 4 distinct layers. I told you that D, E, F. F is further divided into 2 layers. F1 is the lowest layer and F2 is the higher layer. And intensity position of these layers also depend upon the UV rays of the sun. At high noon, radiation in the ionosphere directly above a given point is greatest. At night, it is minimum. So we know that in afternoon, its intensity is maximum and in night, it is minimum. When radiation is removed, then ions will get recombined. Ions will get recombined. And since position of the sun varies daily, even though we are saying about the position of the sun in a single day, but weathers are also there. It depends upon the weathers also in winter and summer. So intensity of the sunlight will be different in both the cases. Again, range of D has been shown to you. It is the lowest region of ionosphere. It will reflect the signals which of low energy. High frequency signals will get passed through it, but it will get attenuated. Attenuated means their signal strength will get reduced. D layer occurs when there is a sun rises there. After sunset, because of rapid recombinations of the ions, it disappears. 55 to 90 miles. This layer is also known as Canley heaviside layer. Canley heaviside layer. Name has been given after these two people, these two men who have worked for this layer. Recombination in this layer is rather rapid after sunset and layer is almost gone by midnight. It disappears in midnight. Ability to reflect signals as 20 megahertz. So it is very valuable layer for the communication if there is a range of 1,500 miles. F layer, 90 to 240 miles. F layer, it is of two types, F1 and F2. During daylight hours, it will separate it into two layers, F1 and F2. Ionization level in these layers is quite high and varies widely. Ionization level is quite high and varies widely. It is the uppermost region of the layer, ionosphere. So this is most closer to the sun. And there will be maximum ionization will occur in it. Recombinations will occur very slowly after the sunset. So F layer will always remain present. G and E layer will get disappeared after the sunset, but F layer will remain always present, and these plays very vital role for the long distance transmission. Reflection in ionosphere. Radio wave is transmitted into ionized layer. Refraction or bending of waves occurs. We have already discussed that. Amount of refraction depends upon the following factors. One is the density of the ionization of layer. I repeat, density of the ionization of the layer. Second is frequency of the radio waves. And third is angle at which the wave enters the layer. UV rays, angle of elevation at which it is being entered into the layer. density of layer. So there is a relationship between radio wave ionization density. Each ionized layer has a central region of relatively dense ionization. So where it is maximum and minimum, as the radio waves enters a region of increasing ionization, its velocity will get increased and upper part of the wave will bend back towards the wave, earth. Upper part of the wave will bend back towards the earth. When wave is in the highly dense center portion of the layer, their reflection will occur maximum. But there is a refraction is very slow because density of ionization is almost uniform. At this portion, density will almost uniform. When the wave enters into the upper part of the layer of the decreasing ionization, the velocity of the upper part of the wave decreases. In decreasing part of ionization, velocity will get decreased. And here, wave will bend away from the earth. In former case, I said that velocity is high, then wave will be bent towards the earth. Here, wave will be bent away from the earth. When the wave strikes thin and highly ionized layer, it will immediately get reflected back to the earth. So this is the phenomena is very useful in the communication. Highly ionized layers will not be thicker, one wavelength of the radio wave. What is the mechanism behind the ionospheric propagation? Whenever the wave passes through the ionosphere, there will be increase in the ionization density and decrease in the refractive index. So incident wave will gradually bend away. And the point will come when it will become parallel to the layer. After that particular, this should be said as a critical point. After that, it will be bent downwards and returns from the ionized layer. They also follows the Snell's law. You have already done with the Snell's law. Refractive index is always equals to sine I by sine R. I is angle of incidence and R is the angle of refraction. In figure, there is a ionospheric layer. This is the actual height. We are assuming virtual height more than the actual height. You can see virtual height is more than the actual height. So from the figure, it is also clear that virtual height is always more than actual height and defined as the height that is reached by short pulse of energy. Means wave is there. It has energy which has the same time delay original wave. delay of that short pulse will be same as of the original wave. So it will reach to that virtual height. Critical frequency. As I told you that there is one critical point. From there, above that critical point, there is a down wave will get reflected towards the earth, and below that point moved away from the earth. So for that, there is a critical frequency. That is highest frequency that will be reflected to the earth. Highest frequency, I repeat, that will be reflected to the earth by that layer at vertical incidence. So again, this is the limiting frequency. Wave is reflected and above it penetrates. This is the frequency. Wave is away from the earth means it is penetrated. So if signal has frequency less than critical frequency, then it will get reflected. If signal has frequency which is more than this critical frequency, then signal will get penetrated and the ionospheric layer. Refractive index by definition is equal to the square root of the dielectric constant. That is equals to square root of the dielectric constant. Mu is equals to epsilon r. Mu, according to Snell's law, is sin I by sin I, and epsilon r is 1 minus 81 by n by f square. N is electron density and f is the frequency. Let us say wave has to be reflected back at r equal to 90 degree. R is equals to 90 degrees. Sine 90 degrees is equals to 1. So this will become sine I equal to this value. Sine r denominator will get 1. So that's why it is written sine I is equals to this value. Root is there. If we'll do sine square, squaring both sides, you will get sine square I is equals to 1 minus 81 by n by f square. From here, this equation, see cursor is moving over. This equation can be managed as 1 minus sine square I is equals to 81 n by f square. 1 minus sine square is equals to cos square I. This equation can be rearranged as f square is equals to 81 by cos square I. If I take square root both sides, that will be f is equals to 81 n root by cos I, because there is a cos square I, root is cos I. 81 root is 9, 9 can be taken out from this root. That would be 9 root n over cos I. 1 by cos I can be said as secant I. So it would be equal to 9 root n secant I. 9 root n secant I. If I'll say that if there is I is equals to 0 degree, then f is equals to 9 root n. So it will become critical frequency. So critical frequency fc is equals to 9 root n. It is very, very important, students. I repeat, this derivation is very, very important and has been asked in the previous year papers almost every time. So you have to solve this derivation as per given directions. So till here, any student has any query, feel free to ask. Till here, any student has any query. Bharti, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
भारती, ये डेरिवेशन समझ आ गई आपको?
Yes, sir.
I repeat, this is very important. Any other student has any query, feel free to ask. Devnath? Devnath, am I audible to you? Devnath? I guess there is some technical issue towards the Devnath sent. So if any student has any query, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I will move further. Above this frequency, the wave will not be reflected back to Earth. So if any wave which has frequency more than critical frequency, it will not reflected back to Earth. At any other angle, the frequency will be capable of being reflected back will be F is equals to Fc into secant I. Fc. So here 9 root n can be said as Fc. So your F is equals to Fc secant I. F is equals to Fc secant I, and it is also said to be secant rule. Secant rule. Till here, any student has any query. Next is maximum usable frequency. Highest frequency of the wave that is reflected by layer at an angle of incidence other than the normal. If frequency above this Fc, it will not come back to the Earth's surface. But if it is come back to the Earth's surface, means reflected, it is the highest frequency of the wave, and highest frequency of the wave that is reflected by layer, which will come back to the Earth, reflected by air, which will come back to the at an angle of incidence other than normal. That is maximum usable frequency. Skip distance. Shortest distance from the transmitter that is covered by fixed frequency Fc. So what should be the shortest distance? It is related to the critical frequency. So this is the layer. If it will not come back, it is coming back. So this is the shortest distance. It is said to be. This is the wave is reflected back. Distance is this. So what should be the shortest distance? It is said to be skip distance. Large angle of incidence ray returns to the ground at a long distance from transmission. Angle of incidence reduced ray return to the ground at shorter distance. This would be related to the angle of incidence. If it will not come obey this shortest distance rule, it will disappear from the Earth. It will go up. Skip frequency. Maximum frequency above which it is not possible for a signal to reach a point via ionospheric reflection. So maximum frequency. After that, it is not possible for signal to reach a point via ionospheric reflection. It will not come back. Optimum working frequency, OWF. Normally used for the ionospheric communication. So for whatever the frequency is used for the ionospheric configuration, it is said to be OWF. Generally chosen to be 15% less than MUF. It is 15% less than MUF. So optimum, we should not go for the maximum usable frequency. If maximum usable frequency is 100, so optimum working frequency would be 85. K factor. Used to correlate the Earth curvature and the curvature of megawatt beam path, it is customary to take one of the curvatures to be straight line. Normally, earlier we were saying that there should be a straight line. So it should has to be taken that care. Line of sight should has to be attained. Is related to the straight line. The modification of Earth curvature is done by multiplying actual Earth's curvature by K factor. So if we want that Earth curvature should has to be considered for the communication, then there should be proper communication. K factor should has to be counted for it. it is further dependent upon the atmospheric conditions. And modified Earth's curvature also varies with respect to atmospheric conditions. So neither by refractive index gradient, it is a rate of change of radio refractivity with respect to height. Rate of change of radio refractivity with respect to height. So effective Earth's radius factor is K. So how we can define the K? K is a factor which when multiplied by the actual Earth radius gives the value of modified Earth radius employed in profile chart to make the MW beam a straight line. So we want that there should be a wave has to be straight line. For that K factor is used. So this is the formula for the K factor. 150 has been found experimentally. 157 by 150 plus dN by dH. Radio refractivity is dependent upon these parameters. This is the formula. Total atmospheric pressure, absolute temperature, water vapor pressures. So from here we can evaluate the K factor. Conditions. These are the conditions which is also evaluated experimentally. If it is minus 40 units per kilometer, K is 4/3. This is used as standard atmospheric conditions. For standard atmospheric conditions, it is used as K is equals to 4/3. Minus 157 units, K is infinity. This is super refractive atmospheric condition. We have already discussed the super refractive. When dN by dH is 0, K is equals to 1. Subrefractive 79. This is also related to subrefractive atmospheric condition. So one thing we have noticed that minimum value of the K is 1 and maximum value is infinity. If value of the K is less than 1, there would be multipath fading, blackout fading. So it means signal strength will almost get negligible if K is negative. Atmospheric refractive index variation of N with respect to height is low. So these are the values of the dN by dH with respect to the graph has been shown over here. This you can go through. Super standard refraction. This refraction again arises with increase in height. If K increases, so we assume that flattening or flattening of the effective Earth's curvature will also get increases. By using higher value of the K, we are reducing the curvature effect. Condition causing it. If we are passing cool air to the warm body, atmospheric density increases near the surface, where temperature is low and humidity is high. Due to this, waves will reflected back to Earth. If we assume K tends to infinity, so wave will almost travel parallel to the Earth. If in any case, if K is negative, then there will be multipath fading. Standard refraction. arises. Why it is arises? There is an increase in atmospheric density with height. Warm air, cool, it is related to the when fog is formed. Upward bending when K is infinity. So here, in all the cases, it has been shown K is equals to 1. This is the transmitting antenna. This is the receiving antenna. Transmitting antenna, this is receiving antenna. This is almost flat. K is equals to 4/3. It is following the curvature, but not exactly identical to the curvature of Earth. If K is equal to infinity, then it would be identical to curvature of Earth. K is equals to 2/3. It would be like this. So actually we have discussed about the variation of the K, how it will impact the propagation. This has been defined in the terms of words. You can go through with this formula also. Earth's magnetic field. Till here, any student has any query, feel free to ask. Students?
No, sir.
Okay. Concept समझ में आ गया बेटा?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great. So moving further. Earth's magnetic field. Earth has magnetic field. It has been shown like this. North Pole and South Pole. Because magnetic field is always produced because of North and South Pole. This is the North Pole. You can see that inward arrow, outward arrow from the South Pole. So waves are south to North Pole. South to North Pole. Starting from the South Pole and emerging from the South Pole and terminating at the North. Earth magnetic field, its another name is geomagnetic field. It is related to the solar wind. So range has been given over here. What should be? It is in a form of Teslas, micro Teslas. North magnetic pole, geographic north, because one ideally we are considering, another is geographically we are considering. This is the effect has been shown here of the magnetic field. So this tilted angle is 11.5 degree. Geographic North Pole. This tilted angle is 11.5 degree. This is basically acting as a bar magnet. If you remember that the magnetic lines of force which emerges from the South Pole and terminates at the North Pole. This is basically a bar magnet. But bar magnet has been placed at the center of the Earth. You can see bar magnet will remain same, but Earth magnetic field will get changes over the time, because in Earth's crust various type of the metals are available, or molten metals comes out. Due to this, its magnetic field is dynamic. We cannot say that it is fixed. Like many planets in our solar system, the Earth has a magnetic field. We know that. South and North Pole. North Pole of the Earth has a south polarity. North Pole of the Earth has a south polarity. You have to remember. As a result, a compass will always point toward the north. Compass will always point towards the north. So what exactly is in a compass? It is a piece of metal which is get magnetized and has an ability to move or spin. So compass is a magnetized piece of metal that can spin. North attracts south, we know that. North tip of the compass always point towards the south pole of the Earth. Magnetic field also protect us from the solar wind. Because of this magnetic property of the Earth, we get protected from the solar wind. Because sun produces a stream of charged particles that spread throughout the solar system. Charged particles are there which spreads throughout the solar system. So these particles are not being accepted by the Earth. These are being deflected because Earth has magnetic field. What is the reason of the planet's magnetic field? Earth is a planet. Same way as we are talking about the normal electromagnet. Either you are making this as metal nail, nail is there, iron nail is there, or can is there. This is the magnet. In an electromagnet, the electrons move around an iron nail. So you can see that these are moving around the iron nail. Earth is made up of 4 layers. The crust, a thin rock material. The mantle, a dense and mostly solid rock material. Outer core, liquid iron and nickel, has been shown with the arrows. You can see with the arrows. The inner core, what exactly? So 4 things: crust, mantle, outer core, and inner core. Iron core of the Earth is an electromagnet because if there is an iron core, solid iron and nickel, if iron is there, so that will act as an electromagnet. Iron core of the Earth is an electromagnet. This core is surrounded by liquid iron and nickel. So there is a liquid iron and nickel is surrounded around this core. So electron flow around the core, the magnetic field is produced. Whenever the electron will flow in the core, this magnetic field will get produced. Earth rotation makes the electron flow at very high speed. Because Earth is moving, due to this, electrons will move at very high speed. Or you can feel the magnetic field by using magnetometer. That is displayed on your screen. Spacecrafts which moves in the space also have magnetometer to measure the magnetic field. This is Mars Global Surveyor, Advanced Composition Explorer, and Galileo. Other planets in our solar system have magnetic fields. Mercury magnetic field 100 times weaker than Earth. Venus is 25,000 times weaker than Earth. Earth 30,000 to 60,000 nanotesla. Mars 5,000 times weaker than Earth. 20,000 times weaker than Earth. Greater than Earth, Jupiter. 20,000 times greater than Earth. Saturn 540 times greater than Earth. Uranus 40 times greater than Earth. Neptune 1/4 of the Earth. Pluto. It's still not being known to us. Earth magnetic field serves to deflect most of the solar wind whose charged particle would otherwise strip away the ozone layer that protects the Earth from harmful ultraviolet radiations. So whatever the charged particles are coming through from the sun, this is being deflected by the Earth's magnetic field. So compass is also used to indicate the north and south direction. East direction you can also get. So there is a lot of magnetic fields effects are there, which has been shown in this diagram. You can only go through that. Characteristics, intensity, inclination, declination. This is the intensity. Often measured in Gauss, but it's generally reported in nanoteslas. So how much intense it is. So that is its intensity. You need to know its definition only. Magnetic inclination is the angle made with the horizontal by Earth magnetic lines. Whatever the angle has been made, that is inclination. Angle of the horizontal plane between magnetic north and true north. Magnetic north and true north. I told you that there is a geographical 11.5-degree angle inclination is there. So that's why it is said magnetic north and true north. So electrical properties of ionosphere. Where plasma density is maximum. Earth upper atmosphere, its altitude ranges almost from 60 to 1,000 kilometers. So there is a large part of the variation of the geomagnetic field in it. So that is basically electrical properties of the ionosphere because ions are there, they are moving freely. They are moving freely. So that's why ionosphere effect is there. Parallel conductivity for direction angles. So conductivity is there because ions are there. So a different type of the angles has been shown over here. Electric field vector, perpendicular vector. So this is all about this chapter. And the next chapter, in the next lecture, we will also discuss about its program, numericals and few derivations related to it. So first of all, let me know, is there any query? Any student has any query about it, feel free to ask. Yes, dear students, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
किसी की कोई query है तो बेटा पूछ सकते हैं. Concept is understood to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So have all of you have submitted your second assignment?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Those who had not submitted, tomorrow is the last day for them. So both the assignment has to be reached by 12 noon by tomorrow. After that, I will evaluate and I will send it to the authorities. Then I will be helpless to help you. So by tomorrow, you have to send those who hadn't sent their assignment.
Sir, second or third both?
Till second, third you can send in the next week.
Okay, sir.
Third you have to send in the next week. All of you have to remember it. Third assignment, till first and second you had already sent. Third you have to send it in the next week.
Okay, sir.
Now there is in a poll session. All of you ready for your polls. Here is the first question of the today's poll on your screen. Your time starts now. Kindly answer it within stipulated period of time. Students, hurry up. I will end this poll within 20 seconds. Quickly. Last 5 seconds to go. Okay, I'm going to end this poll now. Thank you. So right answer is inversion layer. Most of you have given the right answer. I appreciate all of you. Second poll question is here on your screen. Kindly answer it quickly. Students, last 20 seconds to go. I'm going to end this poll within 5 seconds. Okay, thank you. Right answer is attenuation. Most of you have given the right answer. So next poll question is here on your screen. Your time starts now. Students, last 20 seconds to go. Answer it quickly. Last 5 seconds. I will end this poll now. Thank you. The right answer is permittivity and conductivity. Most of you have given the right answer. Next poll question is on your screen. Students, answer it quickly. Last 10 seconds to go. I'm going to end this poll within 5 seconds. Okay, thank you. Right answer is fading. Next poll question is here on your screen. Answer it quickly. Students, last 10 seconds to go. Answer it quickly. Okay, I will end this poll within 3 seconds. Okay, thank you. Right answer is skip zone. Most of you have given the right answer. Here, next poll question is on your screen. Kindly answer it quickly. Sahil, you also unmute yourself. Mute yourself, man. Sahil, mute yourself. Last 10 seconds to go. Answer it quickly. Students, I will end this poll within 5 seconds. Okay, thank you. So right answer is D. Most of you have given the right answer. Here is the last poll question of the day is on your screen. Kindly answer it quickly. Answer it quickly. Last 20 seconds to go. Answer it quickly. Okay, I'm going to end this poll. Right answer is option B. Any student has any query for the today's lecture, feel free to ask. Okay, students, I will end this meet today. Okay, take due care of yourself. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.